at the bottom of the pile. I got lifted up, and I thought I woke up from a dream or something.
Then the comeback.
This is the ball game, 4th and 17, looking for Bebe, and he's got it!
Unforgettable moments that will forever live in Illini lore.
Peters rolls right, looks to the end zone, lob, touchdown! Daniel Parker! Touchdown, Illinois!
We're going golden.
All part of a memorable 2019 season filled with ups and downs. Now the Illini are bull-bound.
The following WCIA3 Sports Special Presentation is brought to you by Classic Granite and Marble.
Welcome to Bullbound 2019. I'm your host, Brett Behrens, alongside our sports team with Craig Schode and Marley Weirda.
We're taking a look back at the Illinois football season and getting ready for the program's first bowl game in 5 years.
We've got a jam-packed show, so let's get it started. Here's what's on tap. In the next 30 minutes, we'll recap all 12 games. As the only TV station to cover every game this season, we were there every step of the way.
We'll break down what went right, what went wrong, and take a look at some of the most iconic moments from the roller coaster season.
We also introduce you to one key person behind the team's turnaround. The Illini are heading to the Golden State to play Cal in the Red Box Bowl. It's the first appearance in a bowl game since 2014 for Illinois. Cal has been to back-to-back bowls and 3 in the last 5 years. Just getting to a 13th game means a lot to the Illini, who are pumped up to hear they are heading to the Bay Area on Selection Sunday earlier this month.
I was hyped. I was excited when we got projected the TV show. Like, we were up dancing. Me, Milo, Dylan, Kenyon, all the rest of the Cali guys, we were just dancing because that's home. That's our backyard.
It's a 3 o'clock kick on Fox, so national TV audience to see 6-6 Illinois take on 7-5 Cal. The Illini are 6-point underdogs against the Bears, who have one of the best defenses in the Pac-12. Illinois leads the Big Ten in the turnover margin. Here's the bowl trip schedule for the Orange and Blue, who will mix work and play. The team plans to give back to a local food pantry, have a dinner on a cable car, as well as several practices at Laney College across the bay in Oakland. They will also tour Alcatraz.
The itinerary will almost be identical to the 2011 Kraft Fight Hunger Bowl when the Illini took down UCLA by 6. After starting 6-0 in 2011, the Illini finished the regular season with 6 straight losses. Head coach Ron Zook was fired. Vic Koenig led the team to a win, the first time the program had ever won back-to-back bowls.
Tim Beckman was on the sideline in San Fran. He took over for Zook and led the Illini to one bowl game, the Heart of Dallas Bowl in 2014. That's the last time the Illini played a 13th game, a 35-18 loss to Louisiana Tech.
Guys, a bowl was the goal for the Illini coming into this season, a realistic expectation in Coach Lovie Smith's 4th year, and finishing with 3, 2, and 4 wins in his first 3 seasons. It was time for the program to take another step. A big part of that was taking care of business in the non-conference portion of the schedule. It's set up nicely, starting with a home game against Akron, and the Illini did exactly what they were supposed to do. Marley.
And what an impressive showing by Brandon Peters in his Illini debut. He went 14 for 23 and 163 yards and 3 touchdowns. He showed not only could he throw, but he could run as well. Peters was one of the 5 Illinois transfers that started in the game, and they all made an immediate impact. Guys like Joshi Mator-Bebe, Trayvon Sidney, Oluwole Batiku, they all helped the Illini start the season on a positive note, crushing the Zips 42-3.
Craig, the next step was winning a non-conference road game, something that hadn't happened since 2007.
Yeah, and on paper it looked like a lock for the Illini. UConn, one of the worst programs in the FBS, but there was nowhere near the blowout people expected. The Illini had to scratch and claw to come out with a win. The Huskies took a 13-0 lead, thanks in large parts to a Brandon Peters pick 6 thrown directly to the defender on the 5th offensive play for the Illini. Then they woke up, rattling off 24 straight points in the second quarter, outgaining UConn 212-18 in that span.
Peters bounced back as Joshi Mator-Bebe emerged as his go-to guy on the East Coast, catching 2 touchdown passes, including a high-point grab in the third quarter. Illinois wins at 31-23 the final, making history, winning its first non-con road game in 12 years.
You always celebrate a win. It's too hard to get a win. You know, a lot of times in games like that, you know, you don't pull them out. So it takes an awful lot.
Oh, yeah, I celebrate every win. I mean, every win is a win regardless of how it looks like.
Illinois improves to 2-0 for the 3rd straight year, and winning those first 2 under Lovie really hasn't been a problem. 3 straight to open the season. Hasn't happened since 2011, though, and it looked like the Illini were in a great position to do just that.
Yeah, taking on another program that has notoriously been towards the bottom of their conference in Eastern Michigan. But the Eagles have been a thorn in the side of Big Ten teams, beating Rutgers in 2017 and Purdue in 2018, so they knew how to pull off an upset.
The Illini put up 17 in the first quarter, but give up 14. The Illini trailed 23-17 17 at halftime. So things not looking great, and it gets even worse to start the fourth quarter. They're down 31-17, but the 36-yard pass to Joshi Matorbebe ties it up as he reaches for the goal line and scores. Now Eastern Michigan ends up sealing the deal. They kicked a field goal just as time expires.
We'll be playing Mary School for the Blind, right? If we do what we need to do, we should win every game. That's how I see it. I really don't care who we play against.
It's embarrassing to lose like this, but we just got to keep pushing. There's still a lot of football to play. This is the rest of the year.
This was the fourth straight season Lovie Smith and the Illini lost to a group of 5 team.
Not a good look, and a lot of people certainly question the future of the program at that point. We head to Big Ten play next as things get tough, but of course there is light at the end of the tunnel. Plus, there's one guy who knows all about the Bay Area. He cannot wait to play in front of his family and friends. That story coming up as Bowl Bound 2019 continues.
Your Illini Nation, Bowl Bound 2019 continues.
Welcome back to Bowl Bound 2019. A loss to Eastern Michigan certainly sounded some alarms for Illini Nation. It's never a good look to lose on your home field to an Eastern Michigan team that ended up finishing last in the MAC West.
Yeah, but Big Ten conference play offered the Illini a little bit of a reset as they tried to win their first league opener since 2015 with a home date against Nebraska. Now, just the second offensive play of the game, Reggie Corbin goes 66 yards early before Imatorbebe extends the lead with a 26-yarder for the touchdown. But it's a back and forth battle from there, and it'll be 21-14 at half.
Teams alternate touchdowns in the third, with Illinois leading 35-27 after 3. The Huskers find the end zone to tie it at 35. Illinois settles for a field goal, so while Nebraska scores another touchdown to win it by 4. The defense forces 4 turnovers, but gives up 674 yards to the Huskers as Nebraska outscores Illinois 21-3 in the final 17 minutes of the game to win it.
I mean, you want to hold them to as least amount of yards as you can, but ultimately it comes down to the W, and we didn't get that today.
I think we have a chance now to win. And then in years past, I don't think we've had a chance.
Second straight loss for the Illini leaves a sour taste heading into a bye week.
I think the big question, would Illinois change anything after that bye week before heading to Minnesota? The Gophers entered 4-0. Illini linebacker Jake Hansen called it a crossroads game. Marley, you were in Minneapolis to see it.
Yeah, and it was the game the Illini needed to win. They were coming off an embarrassing loss, but things just kind of continued to go downhill at Minnesota. And it all started when Brandon Peters left the game with an injury in the second quarter. So Matt Robinson steps in, playing an entire half for the first time all season, but he just couldn't get the offense going, throwing just 125 yards. The only 2 touchdowns for the Illini came from defensive player Dele Harding with the pick 6, and Milo Eifler added one off a fumble recovery as Minnesota gets the win, 40-17.
I don't think I've ever been where we lost a game where we scored a couple of defensive touchdowns, but there'll be breaks in every game, but you can't let them go the distance. The big plays are what's killing us on the defensive side of football.
And Minnesota proved it was for real, winning its first 9 games before finishing 10-2.
A week later, 16th ranked Michigan comes to Champaign. The Illini still trying to lick their wounds a little bit from 3 straight losses, trying to beat the Wolverines for the first time since 2009. And to say it didn't go well at the start would be an understatement. Jim Harbaugh and his Wolverines took a 28-0 second quarter lead, absolutely blitzing the Illini. But Illinois had every reason to give up, packing the season, call it good. But they don't quit. With Brandon Peters still out with a concussion, Matt Robinson makes his first career start, orchestrates a 25-0 run to cut the lead to 3 early in the fourth quarter. They had a chance to win it, but the defense couldn't hold. Michigan closes the game with back-to-back scores, and they take it 42-25.
Yeah, we're going to make mistakes, but it just comes down to us staying disciplined.
Positives and negatives to every game, and obviously a little more negative that we lost, but that second half was big for our defense and confidence-wise that we can play with anyone.
And Craig, to me, this was the turning point for the whole season because they bought in. They didn't quit, and I think a lot of people thought that they would. Illinois didn't win, but they also didn't give up, and that mentality is super important.
Yeah, no doubt. People are looking at that Michigan rally as the point the Illini turned it around, but that was Matt Robinson. Brandon Peters gave Illinois their biggest win in ages in that Wisconsin game. The Illini came in anywhere from 28.5 to 30.5 point underdogs, Winning was almost an afterthought for many, and it looked nearly impossible late in the third with Wisconsin leading 20-7. But Reggie Corbin scampered 43 yards to bring it to 20-14. On the ensuing Badgers drive, Devin Witherspoon made what some think is the season-saving tackle right here by the shoestrings of Kendrick Pryor. Wisconsin would take a field goal and lead 23-14 instead of 27 or 28-14. And the Illini answered. Joshie Matorbebe came open in the north end zone to make it 23-21. Another season-changing play came with 2.5 minutes left. Wisconsin took to the air. Tony Adams climbed the ladder for the interception. Illinois never really looked to the end zone late, with Daniel Barker making a third down catch and Dre Brown refusing to go down. That set up for Lovie Smith calling timeout right here with 4 seconds left. The ball resting just outside the 20, and it was set up for James McCourt to become a Champaign legend, and he did just that, putting the 39-yard field goal right down the middle, and the celebration was on in the middle of Memorial Stadium.
Going through my head with some oxygen because I was passed out at the bottom of the pile. Supposedly, Jake Cerny saw my eyes roll back in my head. So I got lifted up, and I thought I woke up from a dream or something. It was just unbelievable. Just seeing everyone around, I can't even describe it.
My mindset was, holy hell. Like this is a situation that like movies are made out of, like last second like field goal to win the game against the number 6 team of the country. Like that's the stuff where like I was told as a recruit we're gonna do that, and we just did that.
The first win over a ranked team since 2011, highest ranked victory since 2007 when Illinois took down number 1 Ohio State.
Crazy to see all the fans there at Memorial Stadium piled on. They have not stormed the field in a long time. Winning at home in the Big Ten is good, but doing it on the road, a whole nother animal. Lovie came into the Purdue game 2-12 in Big Ten road games, with only his 2 league road wins at Rutgers. So not a lot to brag about there. Overall, since that 2007 win over the Buckeyes that Craig mentioned, the Illini just 10-35 in conference road games. So history not on their side as Illinois plays at Purdue on an absolutely dreadful day in West Lafayette.
What a perfect day for the ground game and the defense. Just 26 passing yards with rain coming down the entire time, but Tony Adams set the tone with a pick 6. Then we saw a breakout game for Dre Brown with 242 rushing yards, a season high for him. That led the way to a 24-6 win as the Illini bring the Cannon Trophy back to Champaign for the first time since 2015.
We knew we could do it. We just had to go out there and execute. And then we knew our offense, they're going to put points on the board. Them big boys up front, they working. And we know our D-line very disruptive. We knew this week the secondary had to come into play, so that was the focus.
So back to 500 on the season at 4-4, and we had relevant football in November, the first time in 4 years that's happened. A rare occurrence. People were pumped up to see Rutgers and Illinois. No better way to continue the good times than hosting the Scarlet Knights. They'd already fired their head coach, or at least that's what we thought, that they were in for some good times. The plan looked good early, 10-0 after one, thanks to Dre Brown and his TD run, but the Scarlet Knights rallied to tie it at half. Upset brewing, maybe? Well, not quite. The Illini hang 28 unanswered second-half points, in large part thanks to the defense. Nate Hobbs picks up a fumble, finds pay dirt, add a Dele Harding pick 6, and the Illini walk out with a 38-10 win. It was the first time the program had a 500 Big Ten record in November, guys, since 2010, but the best still to come. A bold bid awaits the Illini, plus we introduce you to the man behind all the Illini strength and conditioning, that and much more, as Bowl Bound 2019 rolls on. Welcome back to Bowl Bound 2019. Illinois had a 1-3 shot to make a bowl game heading into the Michigan State game.
At 5-4, they needed just one more win to become bowl eligible, but with Iowa and Northwestern waiting the final 2 weeks, ending all doubt about making the postseason was the plan.
So the plan did not work out very well early in East Lansing. The Spartans go up 28-3 in the second quarter. It looked like they would cruise to an easy win, but this play helped set the tone for the second half. Brandon Peters' Hail Mary to Joshie Matorbebe, the 46-yard touchdown, gives the Illini some life before the break.
That was just the start of a game that will be talked about for a long time. Sparty scored once in a quiet third quarter overall to make it 31-10. Then Bebe goes back to work on the pass from Peters. He's gone. The momentum shifts after a 4-play drive. Illinois gets the ball back, and Reggie Corbin scores quick, 31-24, and all of a sudden there is new life in East Lansing. You need some of these breaks to win a game like this. The Spartans fumble the first play of their next drive, giving the Illini great field position, but Peters throws a pick just 3 plays later on a terribly thrown ball. Not ideal. Less than 10 minutes to go. MSU could bleed the clock, and they do, but they elect to throw on 3rd down from the 45 instead of run, and Sidney Brown makes them pay, stepping up and making a play. The pick 6 makes it a 1-point game. We had an upset brewing against Sparty, but James McCourt misses the extra point, another dagger for the Illini, so it's 31-30. Michigan State field goal on the ensuing drive extends the lead to 4, but with 3:17 to play, still some time for the Orange and Blue. It all comes down to this: 4th and 17 on the Illinois 44, 37-yard pass and catch to Joshie Mator-Bebe to keep the hope alive, and after a PI penalty on 4th down, another play for the Illini, this one to end it. Daniel Barker with the touchdown as Illinois punches its ticket to a bowl game.
I'm just happy that I could change the program.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Big-time players make big-time plays in big-time games. And that's what I live by.
It's definitely awesome. Feeling like, I helped play my part in helping to turn this program around. It's been a drought here for a long time.
Keep adding to the accolades. Wisconsin and this game, probably two of the, one of the bigger wins in Illinois football history. So just to be a part of that, it's honestly amazing. And I'm glad I'll be watching it on BTN Classic, someday, and it'll be a lot of fun.
I thought that was well said. The biggest comeback in school history from 25 down to a bowl. Hard to believe.
Yeah, like Dre just said, it's definitely one to remember. It's going to be right up there with that Wisconsin game in terms of which one will be remembered most. But it almost felt like they worked so hard to get those 4 wins in a row that they were spent heading into Iowa City. Only 1 touchdown from either team, 2 total for the game with 5 field goals. Illini snapped their 4-game winning streak. It was the first time Illinois lost the turnover battle since Eastern Michigan. Brandon Peters left the game late with a concussion on a questionable targeting no call, and the Illini actually outrushed the Hawkeyes 192-79, but leave with 6 straight losses to Iowa. Still haven't won at Kinnick since 1999.
When you're -2 in turnover ratio, that's tough. It's kind of simple as that.
Just left so many opportunities out there, and we're so used to winning the turnover battle, and today we lost it, and that's why we lost the game.
So with bowl eligibility clinched, Illinois wraps up the regular season hosting lowly Northwestern with a chance to get to 7 wins in the regular season finale for the first time in 12 years on Senior Day. Bobby Roundtree back in Champaign for the first time since a serious spinal cord injury. He gave the pregame speech, but the Illini absolutely laid an egg. Dre Brown scored the only TD of the afternoon for the Orange and Blue early in the second quarter on a rainy and cold afternoon at Memorial Stadium. The Wildcats were the team that came to play as 4th-string quarterback Andrew Marty lit up the Illinois defense. Northwestern rushes for 378 yards, guys. Illinois had just 14. A tough way to end an overall successful season. The Illini reached a lot of their goals, making a bowl game. That was their first and foremost goal for this season, but you have a good reason why, Marley. They were prepared.
You're right, Brett. A lot of their success this year started in the weight room. 8 years ago, Lou Hernandez helped the Illini achieve back-to-back bowl game wins. This season, he returned for his 2nd stint as the head strength and conditioning coach.
It all starts with us on getting your mind right. That's our philosophy in this weight room.
It's that simple message that helps the Illini get through Lou Hernandez's grueling workouts. And they haven't been any easier as he's getting the Illini in shape to win their first bowl game since 2011.
To do things we haven't done before, we have to do things we haven't done before. Was it just effort, or did we give bowl effort?
That kind of effort showed itself in some of their toughest moments this season, including a 25-point comeback against Michigan State that secured bowl eligibility for the team.
Good teams continue to get better. Bad teams just go home. And it was great to see that our guys were still fighting and still pushing.
He preaches to stay locked in during, when you're always tired. That's the one thing he always has us do. That helped us so much this year.
The physical side certainly helped as well. Several players gained recognition on Lou's wall of milestones, like reaching speeds of 20 miles per hour or lifting more than 1,000 pounds.
Everything leading up to it, the workouts, the conditioning, the skills and drills, and then they get that big prize at the end.
And that's the opportunity for one more game, a prize that's well worth the blood, sweat, and tears that they put into the weight room, guys.
With the season behind us, we look ahead to the bowl game now, and for Milo Eifler, it means a chance to head home. Craig, you have that story for us next as Bowl Bound 2019 continues. Welcome back to Bowl Bound 2019. The Illini playing in California in the Red Box Bowl, the Bay Area home to 6 players.
But no one in the program is more familiar with that area than linebacker Milo Eifler, who is getting a rare chance to play in front of family and friends, and even against one of those family members.
Definitely a relief and just excitement. It takes my parents. They're excited. About to have a lot of family members try and come out to this one because it's probably like the closest game I'm going to get to being back home.
Eifler is a Cali native, attending Bishop O'Dowd High School in Oakland. He's one of 7 players with California ties on the Illini roster, but some have never been to the Golden State, so they go to Eifler.
It's warm and a lot more tropical, so he didn't really tell me much other than that.
The only thing he told me was like Cal is about 40 minutes away, so you're going to travel real well. I'm excited for that.
His high school is only 11 miles from the campus of Cal, who Eifler will now suit up against in the Red Box Bowl. He remembers going to many Bears games when he was younger. Cal was even one of the first schools to offer him a scholarship and made it in his final 5 before he chose Washington.
I went to a lot of games when I was growing up. I went to there as a Cal fan almost. I was trying to see them win.
Eifler's ties to this particular bowl don't end there. His cousin, Ricky Walker, is a wide receiver for the Bears. The two played together in high school for a couple seasons before Walker transferred, where they played against each other.
Junior year, he won. Senior year, he won again. So he's 2-0 against me right now. But then he went to Cal, I went to Washington. We beat up on them when I was at Washington, and I'm ready to. He plays receiver, so hopefully he'll get in the game. I get to hit him a couple times.
The linebackers will be in the spotlight for both teams come December 30th. Eifler's teammate, Dele Harding, is second in the country in tackles, only behind Evan Weaver of Cal.
All right, here's the matchup one more time. Illinois and Cal at 3 o'clock. And that's going to do it for Bowl Bound 2019. For Craig Schode and Marley Weirda, I'm Brett Behrens. Good night and enjoy the game.
2019, a WCIA3 Sports Special Presentation has been brought to you by Classic Granite and Marble.